Coach, for a few minutes, and then we'll have some players after that.
Well, yeah, great to get started. Day one, as expected, but good energy. You guys were, flying around pretty good. Obviously, we're just in helmets and spiders, but I was really pleased with what it looked like today.
Question? You've done this before, but being out there first day of camp, just kind of surveying and going around. I guess was just the feeling you had going into it?
Well, I thought it was crisp. Definitely, you could tell we've gone through a spring ball, and they've had a good summer. A lot of guys. Getting bigger, faster, stronger, more comfortable in the scheme, and I thought that showed up in day one.
When you've had the turnover you've had since the spring, how much at this point in the year is about not just reteaching, but teaching something?
Yeah, there's some new faces, no question that there's teaching. They did get advantages some summer, and they got some work there. Kind of described it to the team last night. A lot of teaching spring ball into the summer a little bit. This thing's going to be pretty competitive for the depth chart, and we got a lot of depth at positions.
Are there any positions in particular you're really wanting to see how that's going to shake out over the next month?
Well, every one, but I'd be curious just with the type of players we've got inside linebacker, that group. The receivers, I felt like as a group had a pretty good summer, and so that's going to be competitive on playing time there. It's hard to just point out two groups. That secondary, there's some new faces in there. We got some guys that have played some football. We got competition going there.
Coach, 30 days away from inaugural season, this has been a huge professional accomplishment, whether you're a sports fan or not. How has this growth changed you, and how is that going to have an impact on the program and the players?
Well, I think it's a new adventure and a new challenge and opportunity that I'm still excited about. I also recognize this opportunity comes with, this is a big operation. There's a lot of people involved, coaches and players, and big mantra, even, again, talking to the team last night, is all of us in this thing together.
I think if I heard you right, you said you met with players last night. What is the eve of fall camp kind of feel like from your perspective, especially, being new here and everything?
Yeah, there's some build-up, and again, I keep going back to this word excitement, but excited to get started, and then finally get in the group. We've got 118 in camp, and it's the first time this group is totally together, and got some good work today.
Is it better? I know it's good to have competition and the depth chart not necessarily set, but for some of the positions that aren't more set, like Aiden Childs being the starter and Tommy probably being backup, is it better for there to be more unsettledness, I guess?
I think we're always pushing for some competition, and just because maybe guys are slotted currently at a spot, they know that others are chasing them down, and then we know this game, it's a long season, it's a physical game, everybody has got to be ready to go.
Was there in the backfield, because Nate's the only scholarship running back coming back? He added Kieran from the portal. You got the two freshmen. Just how do you kind of see that depth work out?
Yeah, all four of those guys getting some turns, and JoJo getting some turns too. Excited about kind of the young freshmen and their opportunity, but right now Nate's leading that race.
For the guys who came in after spring, how do you get them prepared for today? What to expect?
They met through the summer, get around the coaches and things. We try to do a thorough job explaining what practice should look like and how we should be going about it. And then they got to go out and experience it. And I thought, you didn't notice, to me, a bunch of new guys out there.
The offensive line is obviously going to be something to keep an eye on. But I guess looking at some of the new pieces you brought in with Luke. Also saw that both Dellinger and Stanton were out there. How important is this camp for those guys to kind of integrate with the rest of them?
Yeah, important for sure, especially that group. You're asking five guys to be on the same page all the time. Mentioned it before. I think Coach M does a nice job of kind of not just pigeonholing a guy in one spot. We're trying to find the best five guys out there, and so having some position flexibility, and you'll see that throughout camp with guys playing a couple different positions.
It's a combination of being a first-year head coach here with the amount of turnover that you've had. How different does that make the beginning of camp for you and your staff than it would be, say, a year from now or last year?
Sure.
At State?
I think you're definitely not taking anything for granted, right? So everything's new, and trying to make sure we're always on the same page, over-explaining what we're coaching or how we're teaching it, and that's like I've described, it's a fun new adventure, not just for me. I think for our coaches of trying to put this thing together.
Is it figuring out? Is it different in terms of figuring out what you have and having an idea of, like, in terms of how long it takes before you know, okay, this position we're okay here. This is
right.
Sort of figuring out what's what.
I could go back and forth. I do think you as a coach, you spend time with guys and you recognize, you know, where they're at, capabilities, and you can study a group and kind of see where they're at, and that's what we'll do through August.
How has the portal changed how coaches approach this month versus when you were starting off as a head coach? How has that changed what you guys do this month?
Yeah, I don't know if it has a ton. You know, we've got a rhythm in August. We get 25 of these practices, and the approach we go in regards to our teaching, the installation, and goes into, you know, individual periods, and then you put them in a whole group, study the tape, have a few scrimmages. So I don't know if it's dramatically changed August.
Is it strange a little bit to have non-freshmen who you've not seen on the field yet? When you get out here today and you're seeing Lassos and some of these guys.
Yeah, I go back to exciting their first opportunity too, and getting them learning, counting on, you know, guys that have played a lot of college football, guys that have been around here for a minute to continue to kind of teach them and bring them along.
It's like you're eager to see what they really look like.
Yeah, and we're going to give them some opportunity to do that. We try to do that heavy in the first week and a half of trying to force the issue on reps, especially for newcomers, to kind of see where they're at.
4.5 weeks to go. How is the goal different for you in week 1 than it will be in 2, 3, 4?
It'll be similar. I mean, we're trying to be in a constant state of improvement. And in week 1, yeah, we want to play it at a high level and establish, but the installs keep piling on, and we want to be improving on that. Details of techniques and scheme, all of that want to be in improvement. So we want to be looking way better from in week 4 than we are in week 1.
With you mentioned position flexibility on the offensive line, but with Luke, he was a tackle at Holy Cross. So you see him maybe more as a guard.
He got some reps at guard today. He got some reps at center today, and so yeah, he's got a background at tackle. But we're starting with forcing the issue more inside.
What is your expectation for this big freshman class coming?
For them to buy in and work hard. A few of them might bring some things to the table earlier than others, which is kind of normal in a freshman class. But yeah, work hard and be contributors.
When do you guys put pads on, Jonathan, and then first scrimmage, is that probably a week from Saturday?
Yeah, we could put shoulder pads on in a couple days, and then yeah, I think we're targeted for our first scrimmage the next Saturday.
Was it important for Childs to get more chemistry with the receivers during the summer?
100%.
Do you notice that today?
I thought it was pretty crisp today. We had some nice completions down the field, but yeah, it was a huge summer of building off of what they got done in the spring, and timing and work and detail, all those past concepts.
Is there any of the wide receivers you mentioned wide receiver as being competition, but Montori comes back after being the clear guy last year.
Yeah.
There's seems like a lot of opportunity. Is there anybody that you've seen that's really maybe taking the next step?
Well, just a little bit off of his summer, and then today, Teron Glover's taking a nice step in his game. He had a couple of catches today. But there's plenty of others. Nick Marsh, he continues to grow. I'm careful to point guys out after just one day, but those two had good summers.
What do you want to see from Tommy Schuster tabling off of that big spring he had?
I want him to be totally ready and continue. He had a nice day today. Not going to change the offense if he's in the game. He'll be able to operate at a high level. That's what we're expecting of him.
How's that blend work, especially in the first year, install and teaching, especially for 30, 40 new guys, whatever you have now from that weren't here, but also eventually you transition, I think, I'll assume more to an evaluation mode as it goes. Just how does that work?
Yeah, that's why I was getting a little bit of like spring ball. It's a lot of install, a lot of teaching. So these guys are learning, playing a little bit slower. Now they're second, third time hearing it. For a lot of the guys, not all of them, but a lot of the guys that have been through spring ball and that, the expectation is that it's going to be pretty competitive. And then yeah, we got some new faces this summer, and they need to add to that competition.
Even in the few individual periods, we saw Tanner Miller was like an assistant coach. He's pointing things out and telling guys about steps and that. Did that surprise you at all?
No, not at all. I mean, he's been around it, leader, knows the thing, and sets a high standard for that group.
There's some guys that were on the team when you got here that you couldn't see in the spring because they were working on the thing. Van Sumer, Marion Smith, Parachek.
Yeah.
So you're getting them on the field for the first time. I know it's just one practice, but you saw them all summer. What have you learned about those guys?
Yeah, Parachek had a nice catch today. Armarian's great story for his work ethic, his dedication to this game, and he flew around today playing safety. Van Sumeren got reps today. Again, we'll go through camp and some limitations here or there, but all three of those guys look good.
Anything else for Coach?
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.